Okay, so let's wrap it all up. The thing that we need to know about sonnets isn't that they have 14 lines or that they've got this ABAB rhyme scheme. That's a handy way to recognize them. But why? Why should we be paying attention to them? Well, a sonnet is a really quick way to write about something that you've got complicated feelings about. So let's answer these questions real quick. How does the narrator feel about his life at the beginning of the poem? How does the narrator feel about his life at the end of the poem? Why does he feel differently? And where in the poem does he change his attitude? Well, if you look, the whole first, let's say, 8 lines are all about this guy griping about how terrible his life is. He doesn't have the things that he sees other people have. He wishes that fate had treated him better, that he was luckier. He doesn't even think that God's listening to him up there. Heaven doesn't even listen to me pray. I'll show you one cool thing that I kind of like. Look down here. Look at the second quatrain. The second line of that quatrain, featured like him with friends, possessed. And then the fourth line, with what I most enjoy, contented least. That's not a very good rhyme. Possessed and least, those aren't great, and they're not sight rhymes. They're kind of soft rhymes there. Well, one thing that I try to point out, and this is just a Mr. Pruitt theory here, with what I most enjoy, contented least, well, this guy's a poet. And so you notice that the worst rhyme in this thing is when he is talking about the thing that he usually likes to do, but he's depressed. So the things that he usually likes to do bum him out. The thing that a poet usually likes to do is write poetry. And you kind of see how he writes this super weak line the one time that he's talking about the stuff that he likes to do and how they just kind of bum him out right now. So it's interesting to me that he makes a bad move as a poet when he's talking about probably the thing he likes to do most, which is write poetry. That's probably intentional. I think it's a cool move. You could say, okay, Mr. Pruitt, you're kind of getting into the blue curtains there. But so the question was, how does he feel about his life at the beginning? Bummed. I think we got that. Well, closer to the end, in the last 6 lines, how does he feel? Well, he is actually thanking God now. He's singing hymns at heaven's gate. And why did that happen? Well, because he thinks about the audience of the poem, which is the person it's directed to. He thinks about the person that he loves. And he says, I wouldn't trade places with a king. And when in the poem, where in the poem does he change his attitude? Well, we can look for a tone shift word. And over here in the original, it's yet. And that happens at the beginning of the third quatrain. In the modern translation, it's but. I didn't mean to do that intentionally, but both of those are tone shift words, and the tone starts picking up after that. So the important thing to remember about a sonnet is that they are easy ways for an author to write about something they've got complex feelings about in a short way. So that's what I have for now. Your next practice is another Shakespearean sonnet, but remember to look for those same questions on a tone shift. All right, thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.